Believe it or not, Utah won a football game tonight. And I'm telling you, for those that are watching this back the next day, this is a rare thing that I would do a live show post-game. But again, I am so impressed with Rice-Eccles Stadium, so impressed with the atmosphere environment, and was so excited to come on this show and tell you how impressed I was and compare it to LES and tell you where Rice-Eccles beats out LES in certain categories. But instead, the focal point has been on trying to prove that BYU won the game. 22-21. Did you know? What if I told you? I've got a couple of fun facts for you. Did you know that Utah only scored in one quarter of the entire game? Yeah. Yeah, the officials stole the game, but Utah only scored in one quarter. Did you know that Utah only scored 21 points total? Did you know that Michael Bernard did not score a rushing touchdown? Did you know Utah didn't score a single point in the second half? And did you know that I was pretty disappointed in BYU? I felt like this was not one of the better games that Aaron Roderick has coached. I felt like toward the end especially, you got away from the run game. Like, you've got two running backs that have now risen to the top, from Hinckley Rapati to LJ Martin, who have shown, hey, we can run the football. And BYU said, yeah, we'll give the ball to LJ twice in the first half. Hinckley Rapati is a very good football player. BYU had 32 carries, 120 yards on the ground, 3.8 yards per carry. Passing, 15 for 33, 219 yards. That's not very good either. BYU offensively didn't play well, and I told you this in the midweek. I picked BYU to win this game, and they did, by the way. It wasn't stolen. They won. I picked BYU to win this game, but I knew. I said it. I said BYU will win 22-16. Not that far off. 22-21, the final score. And the reason I said 22 is because if you look at the efficiency rating, Utah has the 11th best defense overall in the country. And that's not total defense. I don't think total defense tells the full story. I can't say, oh, look, UCF is ranked pretty high in total defense. I don't give a rat's butt, which is the second time I've used rat's butt in this show, by the way. I don't give a rat's butt about total defense. I care about efficiency, and Utah's very good defensively. And to be honest with you, Brandon Rose played a good football game. Better than Jake Retzlaff. QBR for Retzlaff, 39.2. For Rose, 72.8. Those are metrics. That's all I had. Those are metrics. But where Utah might have lost this football game, hey, what if we had Damian Alford on a trick play, throw the ball straight to a BYU defender? How fun would that be? Or wait, hey, question. What if Jake Retzlaff, all right, here, let's play it. Shotgun, rolling right. Here, he throws an out route. Oop, Utah, DB is right there, jumps the route, and it goes right through his hands. Oop, tip ball drill. Will Utah catch it? Of course not. BYU gave Utah so many opportunities to win this game. I tweeted at, let's see what time this was, 10:45 local time. I couldn't really give you the context here. I tweeted, did the BYU staff just forget how to coach? That was probably around the time where BYU just decided to not run the ball. I also, here's the other tweet, 10:42. Oh, wow, BYU, I forgot running the ball exists. They just decided to kind of not. Like, Aaron, hey, one lapse from Jay Hill. The second quarter lapse, you give up 21 points. Aaron Roderick, I need you to step up a little bit. And ultimately, they did on that final drive. Oh, well, sorry. I mean, the refs, my bad. The refs stepped up on the final drive. And Utah's defense looked very good. I couldn't reckon with the 10-second runoff, Aaron Roderick, that first half. It was infuriating watching him coach this game for a majority of the football game. Similar to me, in a sense, that Oklahoma State game where you're really worried about BYU there until the very end, and the BYU finds a way to pull it off. You're like, oh, shoot. How did that happen? This was similar. Had you asked me mid-third quarter, down 21-10, should Aaron Roderick get on the bus to go back? No, let him walk. Honestly, it's not that far of a walk. There are crueler things to do. Lane Kiffin got left on the tarmac that one time. This was a game where BYU defensively did everything it needed to do for 3 quarters. The only lapse was 1 quarter of the game. And the offense did enough, okay? 3 quarters of elite BYU defense, 1 quarter of complete fall apart. Offensively, 4 quarters of enough to win the game. And then there at the very end, why not? Let's give this to Will Farron, who was 3 for 3 on the night. Let him go knock in the game-winning field goal. And I am screaming from the north end zone, surrounded by Utah fans, screaming, don't trust a college kicker. I'm begging everyone, I don't even care if it's Will Farron. Don't trust a college kicker. You did, and it paid off. What ended up being this kind of weird, like quasi-punting game at the very end, there's like this holding call and an inside run for Utah where it still would have been 4th down. Like we forget. Still would have been 4th down. Or they're very, very late in the game. The holding penalty on the Utah defense. Yeah, I watched it back. And I would agree with NFL quarterback Brock Osweiler, who was good enough a quarterback to earn like a gajillion-dollar contract that, it was kind of a holding that they called. Or, the timeout that BYU called timeout on. And I'm back to it. I watched Utah fans. Again, I was so excited to tell you how cool Rice Eccles was. And then I watched Utah fans throw trash on the field. Did I think it was that classy for BYU players after the win to sprint toward the north end zone and to taunt Utah fans? No. And before you go in the comment section and say, they weren't taunting Utah fans, they were trying to celebrate with BYU. No, they avoided the BYU student family section to go toward Utah fans and wave. Classy? No. Rivalry move? No doubt. For sure. Utah fans responded by throwing things in the field. And I thought, that's not good. Then the AD said the game was stolen from them. And the head coach threw a chair. Okay. All right. That's that's the last little bit I get of Utah football. I think what we do forget, sorry for that aside, is that Jake Retzlaff still had to go win the game. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That the holding penalty or the timeout, that didn't advance the ball 40 yards down the field. The holding penalty, the timeout, they didn't move the ball into field goal range. That was BYU's offense that did that, actually, from Rapati to Jake Retzlaff. The dropped interception. Yeah. Utah had like 3 of those late. It was weird. I thought it was the craziest thing. I don't know if you watched the game, but I watched the game. I was there. And wildest thing, the Utah DB goes up to pick the ball off, and it's right in his fingertips. It's right to him. And the referee tackled him. I couldn't believe it. Never seen anything like it. Then, oh my gosh, on that defensive holding, it was crazy. I watched the referee walk over to the DB, grab both of his arms, like, let me be your hands, and the referee wrapped the DB around the wide receiver. I've never seen such foul play by an officiating crew. Honestly, I've given you all the reasons that BYU won here. But at the end of the day, the officiating crew did everything in its power to make sure that BYU won. I've never seen an official put a helmet on to be the 12th player on offense. And then he catches that ball that takes BYU down to the 29-yard line. And I thought, wow, what a bold move by the officiating crew to add a player on the field. And it's one of them. It's one of their own. Never seen it. And Mark Harlan's right. Tonight, very disappointed in the Big 12. Maybe BYU did get lucky. Maybe Utah did have this game stolen from them, and Utah should leave the Big 12. Maybe Mark Harlan's right. There's always a spot for you in the Pac-12, Mark. 20 minutes of I'm truly, again. Can I read it one more time for you, please? I'm sorry. Can I read it one more time for you? That man stood on a podium tonight after his fans threw trash on the field, after he got in the face of the officials, after his head coach didn't shake Kalani Sitake, known good guy, known nice man, didn't shake his hand post-game. And he said to the media, I've been an athletic director for 12 years. Oh, okay. Ooh, everybody listen up. This guy's cool. This game was absolutely stolen from us. Those officials didn't let us score in the second half. We were happy to be in the Big 12, but after this, we are not. I'm disgusted by the officiating crew tonight. What if I'm disgusted by you, Mark? I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. The pompous way in which Utah entered this conference, and then tonight they have the game stolen from them. Crazy, right? Yep. Coming up, Let's not just break down BYU. I'll give you a short synopsis as well as the rest of the games in this conference, because this is Locked On Big 12, not Locked On Holy War. So let's talk with the rest of the league. Locked On Big 12, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Hey, today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. If you thought BYU would win this game by 3.5, I sure did. I went to FanDuel, and that's what I put money on. And you know what? It didn't hit. But luckily, I did have money on Arizona State minus 3.5 tonight, and that hit. Get ready to tackle the NFL or college football with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers can bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. You get a hunch in the middle of a game, live bet, ka-ching. Check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, so much more. Visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets. $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. That is FanDuel. Visit FanDuel and do it today.